Hey, Juventini, welcome back to the channel. I'm Alberto. It's August 20th, and you know the drill. I got the latest surrounding the old lady, okay? And there's quite a bit to get into today as we've got more of the pieces to the puzzle starting to fall in line, and we got some big news on Memphis Depay, so let's get into it. All right, Juventini, friendly reminder, like the video, and of course, subscribe to the channel. That's all Juve all the time. Now, let's get to the news, okay? So, Rabiot staying with Juventus. Arthur doesn't necessarily have an exit in sight as of right now, but Zakaria, we talked a bit about it yesterday that McKennie and Zakaria's names are going to come up now all of a sudden in rumors that could be true or not, but Juve's gonna probably try to free up a spot to bring in Paredes. So now Zakaria's got the potential to return to Bundesliga. Okay, so there are teams that are coming in showing forth interest. And Borussia Dortmund is one. Is also being reported that Roma is one that's showing interest. Now, remember when I said you got to take everything with a grain of salt and you got to start to put the pieces of the puzzle together yourself based on everything you've heard over a period of time throughout mercados. This is one of them. I don't believe in Roma's interest. I do believe that Bundesliga is, in fact, a destination for him that could work out. Roma, I don't believe it because it was always rumored and it was backed up even by Romeo Gresti that Zakaria was offered up in an exchange for Zaniolo. So that one I kind of find hard to believe unless they did have interest in the player. They just didn't want to lose Zaniolo in an exchange and wanted cash for him. So it could be true, but it also could not. You got to take everything with a grain of salt. But that's the latest coming out of the midfielders in trying to free up space for Paredes. Zakaria's name now being mentioned, and he could be leaving Juventus. This is a scenario that, obviously we would have liked to keep Zakaria around. If I'm speaking for myself, I'd like to keep him around. I think we barely scratched the surface with what he can do. But if it were between McKennie and Zakaria, like I said, gun to my head, I got to make a decision based on what we have actually seen. I would give the edge to McKennie and the fact that we need goals out of the midfield. He's been able to do that and bring some in there, even though Zakaria did score a couple, and I think he had glimpses showing what he's capable of. This season, though, he hasn't really been any type of impact for me, and it is being reported that he is not in top condition so far, so that could have played a part. But Zakaria's name being thrown around now. Now let's get to the youngsters. Fagioli, Rovella, and Miretti all have a lot of interest amongst clubs in Serie A, okay? And it is being reported today that Fagioli is the one that is expected to remain with the Bianconeri. So we have this ongoing carousel with these three youngsters, and honestly, it's anybody's guess right now who it is that's going to stay. Is it going to be one? Is it going to be two? We got to wait and see, but as of today, it's Fagioli. So tomorrow could be Moretti, but Rovella, it is going back to the discussions in a loan heading to Monza, and apparently it could be done after the Sampdoria match. But I still say that depends on what happens if we free up a spot to bring in Paredes. Okay, so there you have it. That's the latest on this midfielder conundrum type scenario. Bonucci has gotten an injury. Okay, so this is obviously another setback for Juventus. The injury list is wild. We posted some stats on the All Juvecast Twitter account yesterday that showed Juventus basically having 6 times in terms of what they were paying out. So salaries and whatnot, injuries over last season, 6 times the league average is what we paid out in terms of injuries. There was 53 injuries. We had something like 35 injuries more than Inter did, okay? The shocking one to me was when I rolled it back and started to break them down. At one point of the season, Juventus had 19 injuries in total at one point. 17 out of those 19 were muscular injuries. That is shocking. Absolutely shocking numbers. Now, if we're going to talk about all these reasons that Juventini are throwing out there, like players' ages and all this, that is still up, in my opinion, to the training staff to do their job and look after these guys. Okay, so You're not going to train a guy that's 22 in the same manner that you're going to train a guy that's 34 and 35, in my personal opinion. So maybe we've got this one size fits all method. I don't know what the answer is because I don't see them train every day and I don't see what they're doing, but there is a problem there. Whether it's a guy that's older, a guy that's younger, we've had muscular injuries across the line, across the roster, and it's a staggering amount, okay, and a much, much higher number than a lot of these other clubs are. So, people are painting a picture that it's something that's following Max Allegri, but it's also following Juventus because we had this issue with Sarri and Pirlo. There's a lot of work to be done there, but they have really got to clamp down on that because it is becoming very, very hard to remain optimistic when year in, year out, we are going through this at a ridiculous amount. When you factor in that Juventus doesn't have the depth to be able to really fight through that as well as we should, that's a problem. We will get the depth there because I said once the cleanup's done, Cherubini and Arriva Bene can clean everything up and we'll get there. It'll be good. But right now, this is a big, big problem. And Juventus needs to make some big, big decisions and changes in that aspect because you cannot continue this way. And there are training staffs that have been changed with certain clubs that had high muscular injuries and they cut them down in half within one season. Juve has to do the same, okay? They absolutely have to. But nonetheless, Bonucci injured. He will be out for the Sampdoria match. It appears that right now Gatti is ahead of Rugani to start in that one, okay? So there you have it. That's the latest on that situation. And last bit of news. Depay, the termination is there, okay? So Barcelona willing to terminate the contract. Juventus has to surrender 2 million euros of bonus from the Pjanic deal, okay? So that's where they stand right now, but it's not just done and dusted as of yet, okay? So now Depay and Juventus apparently battling it out. Not battling, but discussing the final details, which apparently is a little bit of a offset to the salary as Depay apparently demands 7 million euros. Look, it appears that this is a holdup or whatnot. It shouldn't be, okay? It's a 2-year term. Very, very low risk for Juventus. We were already discussing what was reported prior being 5.5 million euros. 7, not a big stretch. Juventus just saved around 39 million euros in salary. This is the type of deal I have no problem with them spending 7 million euros on a player because he is a talented player. He instantly boosts your squad. And it's just a no-brainer. 2 years, 7 mil, not a problem. You were going to take 5.5. Meet in the middle. Maybe go for 6, 6.5, whatever. But get the deal done because with Di Maria out, it showed you how thin we actually are and that we do need help. It made the Kostic deal very, very important, but it makes Depay's extremely important because of the quality that he offers and the fact that he can play across the line in a front three. So for me, no brainer, get the deal done. Let's go. But the best part is I lay it out for you to play it out, Juventini. So I can't wait to hear all your thoughts on the news today. So drop it in the comment section of this video, okay? And let's mix it up. And until tomorrow, fino alla fine, Forza Juventus. And don't forget, Monday, we're live for the match day, okay, as we get ready for Juve and Sampdoria. And do not forget, there's a Discord link in this description to this video. Come join us where the chat continues. Ciao tutti.